What's up? What's up, all good family? Thought we'd take a quick look outside before I sit down and talk about the terrible, god awful news. Look, we got a bunch of people loitering in the pool. Loitering, drinking alcohol, just taking up space. So I will not be exercising, but I would like to be. So there's a bunch of really bad news. God awful, very bad, really bad, terrible news. News so bad, it makes nightmares. And that is what we're going to talk about. All right, let's do that. Wow. Now, first of all, welcome to All Good Things and All Good Time, where it is always a good day to be alive. Let's get this up here on the big screen. Gee whiz heck, son of a gun. Pardon me. I got almost there. Gosh darn, gee whiz heck, son of a gun. Okay, there it is. All right, welcome to the end of the world. If you didn't see it, the predictive history guy, Professor Zhang, started his last lecture to his students and to the rest of the world with welcome to the end of the world. Still got 0 people watching. Maybe YouTube doesn't like the picture I made for this. Anyway, cheers to you. The news is so bad I'm drinking a beer. So before we get into the very bad, god-awful news, I'm going to go over all the positive things I can possibly go over, which are all sort of personal, which is why this is all so personal to me, because I just want to be able to live my life and have a good life. I don't want the news to be so terrible. I don't want the end of the world to be in our sights. But kind of looks like it is. So the positives: I've been going to school. I'm getting great grades here at UH-Maui College after the big fire that I lost everything in. And now I'm in the Honor Society, and I'm getting letters from universities saying, hey, you should apply at our school, which feels really good. It's cool. Second, I've been working on getting a job. I've been going through the, my name is Gabe Owner, okay. You funny. I bet you're funny all the time. You should be a comedian. Okay, so, that's great. Oh, that is good. That is really good. Yeah, God bless it. Sense of humor goes a long way. So, also, I've been trying to get a job. It's taken forever. I'm like 4 months into the process, but it's still going. And when I get that job, it should set me up for a lifestyle and a life that works well, where I'll actually be able to do some homework at work. I'll be able to serve my community. The job will not be replaceable by AI. It comes with a pension and health insurance and life insurance and vision and dental insurance. Doesn't pay very much, but some things are more valuable. So that's cool. That's positive in my little tiny life here. In this incredible FEMA housing, this is emergency housing, rent just went up to $500 a month, which is still pretty darn good. I can't really complain about that, although I still don't have a job. So it's hard to pay even $500 a month rent when you don't have a job. And I just keep hanging out and waiting for this job, but it will be full time. Should be. There's still several steps. I've been calling it the 12-step program to getting a county job or a government job. I actually had to reapply because it's been more than 90 days since I applied, even though it was still in process. Anyway, pretty soon now, hopefully, they're going to finish the next. I think they got to do the criminal background checks, and once that comes back, fine. Then I gotta go see a doctor, make an appointment to get a physical where they're going to check my heart and everything, my urine, my blood, whatever. And then after that, I go through another interview. I've already been interviewed once, and then after that, I do a 10-hour Red Cross course at home, and then after that, I'm on probation for 6 months, getting paid $4 less an hour. But like I said, if it all goes well, this job will be 200 yards away from the house that I'll be living in, most likely. That burned down in the fire. It's not my house, it's my friend's house, but he has asked me to live there again. So I'll be able to live 200 yards away from my new job that I don't have yet, and be able to pay rent because I have a job, and I'll be able to do homework because the job requires you to be on duty every other hour. So anyway, all positive. I can't read the screen because of that. God, you poor thing. We'll be talking about religion. We'll talking about a lot of stuff. There's so much bad news. It just piles up so fast. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and we'll be talking about religion. I'm talking about the alien interview. If you haven't seen Alien Interview number 1, Alien Interview number 2, Alien Interview number 3, and number 4 here on YouTube with this guy at Many Things, you should watch it because it tells us exactly what's going to happen in 62 years, which is when this was done 62 years ago, and it predicts everything that's exactly happening right now and tells us what not to do, what to look out for, what will cause our demise, and we're doing all of those things, unfortunately. And myth and superstition do not serve us well at this time. And he explains that in the future, we just abandon myth and superstition, which is what all religions are, and it gives way to evidence and compassion. Everything that motivates us in the future, once we figure out, right from wrong, and one thing from another, is evidence and compassion, right? And that is different than myth and superstition. And that's according to the alien, which sounds crazy to reference, but god damn it, the guy was so right about everything. Unlike the piece of shit in the White House that says, I'm right about everything. Nope, this alien was. And now that we know aliens are real, maybe it doesn't sound so far-fetched and so crazy. All right, what else? As I've mentioned before, I submitted an art project from my first art class ever to a visual arts center's exhibition, and I got into an art exhibition with my fourth assignment, which was a reduction relief print of a lilycoid flower. There's a video on my channel about that. Now my channel, if you're new here, has 40 kinds of content. This is the only content that is doom and gloom because it's the news that's so awful, so heinous. But all the other 1,300 videos are either beautiful or they're informative or educational or interesting in one way or another, which is what motivates me to make videos. I also have a grandpa that left a treasure trove of his work. He went around the world in the 30s and 40s and made what are essentially videos. I have them on CD. They were all on 8mm that we found. And if you thumb through my 1,300 videos, particularly the video videos, that's where you'll find several of those videos have already been posted, but there's a lot more to show you. Traveled the world, including here to Hawaii. Anyway, and so that's cool. I got into an art exhibition, and this one lady who bought my piece wants to buy more of them. She just sent me a text, so that's cool. She lives in Houston. So maybe I could see myself as an artist. I'm trying to get my eBay account back. Ever since the fire 2.5 years ago, it's just been left dormant. Of course, a lot of the things that I was going to try to sell that were on there, I just scrubbed those off of there finally. Those burned up in the fire, so I can't sell those things. But I did save my graded baseball, basketball, football cards, so I can start with those and on and on. What else is I've been working out. Canoe season's coming. Greatest sport in the history of all sports is Hawaiian outrigger canoe paddling. If you don't know that, or if you didn't know that, now you do. It is just the simple truth. There is no playing field better than the ocean. There is no sport that requires more perfect synthesis among teammates, more selflessness. It is community based. It is culturally based. The first people that ever came to Hawaii came in an outrigger canoe, so you are perpetuating Hawaiian culture in action, in motion when you are paddling canoe. It is a meditation in motion, very similar to swimming. It gets you in incredible shape, and it is the only sport I've ever known or heard of where you can be on the same team as your great-grandson or great-granddaughter. Eventually, I can look forward to the new category of 70 and over is a category, but there's also 10 and under, girls and boys, 70 and over, men and women, meaning, and you can be on the same team, right? When you add all that stuff together, it is the greatest sport in the world. I'm drinking up Sierra Nevada, Chico, California. I hope the owners aren't MAGA morons. Anywho, all right. So yeah, that was Professor Zhang, predictive history. He said, welcome back from the break to his class, and welcome to the end of the world because of all the crazy and insane and god-awful things that are happening. I don't even know where to start. There's so much going on here. Let's start with Afro Man. He's being sued by the pussies, the Adams County Sheriff's Office, the pussies at the Adams County Sheriff's Office in Ohio. My advice to you, Afro Man, is get the fuck out of Ohio. Become a partner with me. Let's get a property here on Maui and build a fallout shelter so we can survive nuclear war, which is we are this close to. It is so scary. And that will harm everybody, everywhere, right? Including the dumb-ass Republicans that voted to be harmed by themselves and their own vote and the people that they elected. And that would be a really smart thing for local governments, state governments to consider doing right now. People need to write letters to people saying, hey, we need you to build fallout shelters, underground nuclear fallout shelters, so we can survive the what is being talked about as a holy war, as Armageddon. We got to bring Jesus back by killing everybody on earth. It's just asinine bullshit. It is evil, and it is, and if you haven't seen it, one of the news stories is a whole bunch of psychotic Christians preying on the devil. Trump, if any human is the devil, it is Trump. And all these insane demons praying to Jesus, putting their hands on him. It is the most absurd shit that we should never see in the United States of America, where church and state are supposed to be separate, right? Separate. And there's a lot of good reasons for that. And look no further than James Tallarico to explain to you why that makes sense, right? That's how we show allegiance to our Constitution and allegiance to your religion, right? If you care about your religion, you should be thankful that we have freedom of religion in our country. And that's what allows everyone to believe all the crazy shit that they believe. Anyway, all right. So there's all these videos about MAGA morons leaving MAGA because it is a cult and they're not smart, and then they whine about how people are being mean to them, when that's the whole brand of MAGA morons, is to be mean to people, to threaten them, to perpetrate violence against them. So, yeah, whatever. I want to say a shout out to Gunny. Gunny speaks out. He is a badass old dude who ain't afraid of nothing. He's on the right side of history. And he rides around on his motorcycle with a big flag that says, fuck Trump. And I think he has merch, FDT, fuck Donald Trump. So check out Gunny Speaks Out. Buy his merchandise, become a subscriber. He only has 24,000 subscribers, so he is also a blue-collar YouTuber. My little tiny channel only makes about 75 cents a day, so this is what I call blue-collar YouTube. Chris Norland, a a kind-hearted soul, a nice gentleman. I believe he is in South Korea, but he's an American citizen, married to a nice woman from South Korea, and he has a great perspective, and he speaks truth to power, and he brings receipts. And yeah, I just watched an episode that he did, and it was very informative. But yeah, our economy is going to shit. Tourism is down in the dumps. Unemployment's going up. Inflation's going up. And we just started World War III. And and the stock market is going down finally. And the only things that have been keeping the stock market up are, you know, all the wrong things, all the bad things. The Palantirs who are evil and want to do mass surveillance and autonomous death machines, and private prison stocks, and oil companies, and anyone that's destroying the environment, that just had all the restrictions and lawsuits dropped against them, so that they can pollute your food and your streams and your lakes and the ocean. But nevertheless, the stock market is peeling back, of course, because we are in World War III. Job cuts all over the place. Hence my feeling satisfied to be finding a job that can't be replaced by AI, right? Oracle. Larry Ellison owns, over here to the left is the island of Lanai, and Larry Ellison owns 98% of the island because Dole Pineapple once owned all that, which it never should have been able to own in the first place. And he has been kissing the people of Lanai's ass and bribing them in all kinds of ways up till now, but I suspect he is no longer cool or popular or well-liked on an island where you would want to be well-liked in your Hawaiian community. So, what an idiot. And now, because of his takeover, right, them stopping Netflix from buying Warner Brothers, now that Larry Ellison has purchased that, there's just a whole nother big group of businesses and companies that I will no longer patronize, which is a little bit of a bummer. Like Fandango, they're the ones that either owns or sells the tickets for the one theater that I go see movies at, so I will not be seeing movies anymore. In addition to all the other things that he produces and sells, and all the media companies that are under that umbrella, I will not be patronizing. And that's fine. Thank God Netflix still exists, etc. There are more 401k retirement withdrawals than ever before at alarming levels, because people are suffering so much they need to borrow against their future because of this terrible government we have that is just, it's a fascist Nazi regime that's killing people in countless ways. I mean, there's so many ways, through starvation, through bombing little boats, through bombing Iran, through bombing Yemen and Syria, and bombing Venezuela, and threatening Cuba. Cuba's next, apparently. We're going to have to take that country over because now we're an imperialist bunch of asshole colonizers again, which was supposed to go away a long time ago. We don't need to be colonizers. And we're just creating instability, and we're alienating everyone on Earth. Hates us now, right? Americans weren't all hated by everybody, but now, I mean, you name the country, they all got a reason to hate us. Except maybe for the fascist Nazi regimes that exist around the world that Trump is friends with, like Viktor Orban, and now Putin and Russia and China are getting together to support Iran. So that's going to go great. Oh my God. The shooting in Austin, of course, they immediately tried to frame it as a terrorist act, but it's an American, pissed off American. There's no greater depth to it. You know, an unstable guy who was able to get an AR-15, because every unstable guy is able to get a military assault rifle in any one of the shithole states that just loves to give away guns of mass destruction. We never needed to legalize those. And that's 90% of all the guns that threaten us from the cartels in Mexico. They all came from America, from small towns, small gun shops that just sell shit tons of shit at evil weapons. Oh, and all the 50 caliber rounds are coming out of Missouri, and it's just crazy. But it's so much violence is on that blood is on the hands of predominantly Republican Americans, but by extension everybody else too. Anyway, tariff refunds. Of course, tariffs are only a tax on us. If you're a dumb shit, if your IQ is not higher than Republican, you don't understand that. You kind of stupid, and that's okay. You know, a lot of people won't forgive you. I won't. Anyway, but yeah, tariffs are against the law, and finally, the Supreme Court, 3 Supreme Court justices can't read the Constitution that clearly says tariffs are only to be imposed by Congress. It's not something the president can do. So it's just crazy that there's 3 Supreme Court justices that know less about the Constitution than anyone with a brain above Republican or an IQ above Republican. This Marine and a candidate in North Carolina who's running for office, Brian McGinnis, bravely denounced the genocide in Palestine, in Gaza, and a bunch of asshole cops dragged him out of the hearing, including this pussy, this coward Senator Tim Sheehy from Montana. Sheehy. Just imagine how he was teased, Mr. Sheehy. Oh my God. With a name like that, which is why he's probably such an asshole. But they broke this Marine Corps veteran's arm. They broke his arm. And you hear it in the video. It is just awful. The evil shit that comes from Republicans. It is everywhere. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere, seemingly. Anyway, my thoughts and prayers go out to you, Brian McGinnis, and I hope you win in your attempt to be elected for, I'm not sure what you're running for exactly. I think it's a state representative or Senate seat. And this guy, this weak little man, Tim Sheehy, is guilty of saying that he was shot in war when he shot himself. And so, yeah, stolen valor guy. F-face ass clown. Let's see. So Iran has now bombed freaking like 7 different countries. All kinds of military bases, CIA headquarters in all these different countries. They are ready for this. They have a decentralized system whereby when the head of the snake is taken out, everyone else just operates autonomously. There are at least 80,000 drones in Iran that cost, on average, about 20 grand, although they've been talked about as costing more. They really only cost about 20 grand. And our missiles that take those things out cost $1 to $4 million. They are so much smarter, and that is what they're going to do. They're just going to force us to unload all. I doubt we have 80,000 Patriot missiles, right, deployed out there, and so that's how they're going to win this war. We are not going to win this war, and it's a war that never needed to happen. We were having constructive talks with Iran. We were making progress, and a week later we had an appointment to see one another, and then we just decided, screw that. We really want to go to war because we got this Christian jihad we got to do. It's a holy war. We got to bring Armageddon to the world, set it on fire to bring the second coming of Jesus back by damn near killing everybody on earth. It is the most insane garbage. I can't imagine being dumb enough to buy into all that. It's crazy. Of course, the Erica Kirk story keeps evolving. Candace Owens is reporting on it. The bride of Chucky is Erica Kirk. And, of course, there's all kinds of evidence to suggest that it's just a dirty, disgusting situation. But of course, this is what lives in the sick, psycho world of Republicans. They are just sick in the head. But yeah, commanders are telling our troops that the attack on Iran, commanders, people in our military who should be better than this, are saying our attack on Iran is in preparation for Armageddon and the return of Jesus. Quotes, Trump was anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to earth. This is just some sick and psychotic shit. Oh my God, so sad. All right, keep moving on. So there's these weird, sick, psycho boys out there, little girls that pretend to be boys. I guess there's one of them is this kid named Clavicular who hits his jaw with a hammer to try to get a stronger looking jaw. I can't imagine being that much of a douchebag fucking idiot, but yeah, apparently that's a thing. I can't even, it's amazing. The Minnesota National Guard was deployed for humanitarian reasons, bringing coffee and donuts to the protesters. God bless the Minnesota National Guard. Finally, we got these guys doing the right thing, you know, for the right reasons. So that's positive. Cash Yap Patel, no one's calling him by his real name. Everybody still calls Cash Yap Patel by his nickname, Cash. But we now know that he loves, just like Trump loves to sneak into underage girls' dressing rooms and grab women by the vaginas, Cash Yap Patel likes to sneak into men's locker rooms to see them undress. So if you're in a locker room undressing, don't be surprised if the head of the FBI breaks in there because, you know, he's entitled. He's got to check out your merchandise. And of course, Kristi Noem has been fired because she sucks. The dog killer. And also the killer of many others by extension as the leader of this sick and twisted Nazi organization. And she's tabbed Lil Wayne. Little Wayne. Mark Wayne, Lil Wayne Mullins. Lil Wayne Momo. Who is an insecure little short man who, if you don't know it, you probably see this in the news, the time he challenged a fight to a mob boss in Congress. And Bernie Sanders was like, oh, wait a second, don't do that now. Anyway, this weak-ass little insecure man is going to be running the Department of Homeland Security. So that's something to look forward to. Now, what's really interesting and I think cool is he's going to be taken out of his Senate seat, right? And let's hope these great ladies from I've Had It jump on the bandwagon. And wouldn't it be great if they couldn't replace him? If there's a special election, I don't know, maybe they'll just appoint somebody who's also a piece of shit Republican, traitor, but maybe they'll have a special election. And if they do, I bet you a Democrat has a pretty damn good chance now. So that's cool. Pete Kegsbreath, declared this war unconstitutionally, and the weak, shitty people who are in the House of Representatives and the Senate, who are predominantly and almost all piece of shit Republicans. I think a few Democrats may have. Anyway, it is, again, Congress in the Constitution. It's made very clear that the only way we can declare war is if Congress declares war, right? Okay, wrong. No, this House and Senate just voted to not assert the powers that are afforded them in the Constitution. And they're not going to assert the War Powers Act to try to be the decision makers in this holy war that is going to get us all killed. Of course, meanwhile, genocide continues in Gaza. All right, the Abolish ICE movement. If you haven't seen it, I hated this shirt because it said "chill out" and it had "icy" on it. Icy. It's a bad word in America, so I wrote FCK icy. FCK icy. And the Abolish ICE movement is now being, it's growing, and some of the people on the side of the right side of history, of the good people in our country, are actually Republicans. that don't want to see innocent people harmed and incarcerated and murdered and raped and denied medical care and their their bodies broken by these evil Nazis who are putting them in concentration camps. It is Nazi Germany in America right now, and it is absolutely abhorrent, disgusting, and sad. Women's rights are being eliminated because that's what American women, just the stupid ones on the right, want. They voted to have their rights taken away. Their right to contraceptive. Imagine that. The right to not be forced to get pregnant when you have sex. It's going to take so much fun out of life for these people. So I guess stock up on condoms and hold your breath and cross your fingers. And if you're a woman of child-rearing years, I recommend you get the fuck out of if you're in a shithole red state that wants to just kill you because if you get pregnant in a shithole red state, that could be a death sentence. So whatever it takes, man, get the fuck out. Just like you, Afro man, get the fuck out of Ohio. And if these states ever become not Republican, I don't care what other party it is, independent, Green Party, Democrat, just not Republican, Libertarian, then, we can go back. You can move back to those states. You can go there on vacation, spend money. You can buy Tennessee whiskey or Kentucky bourbon, right? But for now, fuck those guys. So if you don't know that, that's what's happening. In Ann Arbor, these snowflakes, a fucking criminal, a felon, by the name of Jake Lindemeyer and his piece of shit wife or girlfriend Erica Lindemeyer, they went into a Smoothie King. And now I was going to say, go there. But now that they've fired the two girls that felt unsafe and that wouldn't serve couple piece of shit Trump supporters, fuck those guys. Don't go there. Don't spend $1. Write them a letter saying, fuck you. It's so sad. They're such snowflakes. But they're also not smart enough to understand that it's you all, it's the Republican pieces of shit that have committed all the discrimination, all of the harmful acts against people. But in particular, in Colorado, a fake case where a cake maker refused to make a cake for some gay people that was a lie in the first place. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court affirmed their right to discriminate. So yeah, we all have a right to discriminate against piece of shit Republicans who discriminate against everybody. I mean, that's their whole ethos. It's what they are known for. That is their brand. We discriminate against everybody that isn't a racist white man, apparently. I can't imagine being a dumb shit who voted to be harmed or discriminated against, like the Republican women that voted to lose their right to vote. God, that is just ignorance on the highest level. All right. Trump's syphilis neck is a big story in the news. He's got what looks like syphilis neck. That's what they're calling it because he is gross. I think his liver is failing, amongst other things. I think he's on drugs and he's got a fucked up, weak, fatty liver already. And those drugs that are like Alzheimer's drugs are probably taxing the shit out of his liver, which is why he's got that big spot on his hand, most likely. My dad's liver failed as he was getting older, and he had these huge purple spots all over his body, and wounds wouldn't heal. And all right, moving on. But yeah, like I mentioned, China and Russia are getting together, so that's great, isn't it? Because they get a lot of oil from Iran, and and now that everybody hates America, everywhere, every country, even our former allies, Canada, Mexico, Greenland, the European Union, everybody, everywhere. Of course, Russia and China hate us, and North Korea, and who knows who else, with all the tariffs and shit. Tariffs are a way of declaring a certain kind of war against people, so there is animosity towards us all around the world, which just leaves us weak and vulnerable, along with the fact that we have the piece of shit Republicans have weakened democracy, right? So that's the foundation that's very shaky now. Everybody hates us. Our democracy's weak. And now we have political tribalism on full blast, right? Pitting Americans against each other because of these piece of shit Republican traitors. We have religious dogma, which is creating the holy war. We have artificial superintelligence, which is very dangerous, and there are no guardrails, right? These piece of shit Republicans and the big ugly murder bill in there said we can't put any guardrails on super artificial intelligence for 10 years, which is why we're just doing mass layoffs. Now, if you spend your money right, you spend your money on no company that's laying off people in place of AI. You look for the companies that keep people working for them. You spend your money on products that come from people-generated things. That's how, one of the ways we can fight, right? And you stop watching any program that fucking asshole Larry Ellison now owns. Fuck TikTok, fuck CBS, Skydance, Cartoon Network, fucking Comedy Central. It's just a long list if you haven't seen it. It is awful. Anyway, what else? Tony Gonzalez, the guy who's trying to put up, the 10 Commandments in the classrooms, but he doesn't understand how to follow them himself. He's cheating on his wife, fucking with this married woman to the point where she killed herself by lighting herself on fire, which maybe was murder, I think, but who knows? They're saying it's suicide. Still, he's an adulterer, and he's running for office against a Confederate traitor. Amazing. That Republican Party really sucks ass. What's her name? Christina Talks. Just did a thing about that. I love that girl, man. Her eyes are so beautiful, too. But I love her content, that Christina Talks lady. Oh, and the guy's name is Brandon, the Confederate traitor, the racist that's running against the adulterer, Tony Gonzalez. Oh, the Republican Party's got so much going for it. And then there's Ken Paxton, who's guilty of countless crimes and been impeached something like 20 times. He's running for office in the ticket. There's going to be a runoff on the Republican side, and then whoever wins that is going to go against James Tallarico. Now, if you are a Christian, there's only one kind of Christian to be like, to admire, and that's a James Tallarico Christian. Although it's all myth and superstition, still there are good versions of Christianity and really sickening and horrific ones. And the only good versions are ones that look like James Tallarico. If you don't know it, now you do. Just a GOP shit show. Anthropic didn't want to let our government use its artificial intelligence to do mass surveillance on us, right? Because it actually cared about the Fourth Amendment. And they also didn't want to allow it to be used to make weapons that kill people without any humans being involved. So it's just a machine deciding who to kill and who not to kill, right? Robots, drones, and our government, our sick and twisted evil motherfuckers, Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump, they just couldn't have that. So they threatened Anthropic with everything they could, like not doing business with anybody that does business with them and not doing business with them. Anyway, and long story short, Anthropic capitulated. So now we're going to have AI pointed right at us, with it being allowed to be used by the corporation to use weaponized drones to murder us and mass surveillance to fuck up our lives. We need to vote for candidates that will fight against mass surveillance. Plain and simple. We need to elect candidates that will fight against artificial intelligence being used against us, against data centers, which are just totally evil. I hope whoever wins mayor of Maui County and will fight against this shit. We just can't have it. And these fucking concentration camps, these warehouses that are being turned into concentration camps are pure evil. You need to elect people who fight against that shit. It's the only kind of good person you can elect. And if so, maybe we have a chance. If we're not already this close to nuclear war, which sends nuclear fallout all around the northern hemisphere, wiping most of us out, except for the few billionaires that have these lavish underground bunkers. And is that what you really want? Like, if you're a billionaire or a fucking military or political leader, do you really want to live in a fucking underground bunker? Like, it is unbelievable. And if you're one of these Epstein, and all of this is a distraction from the Epstein files, right? And these sick and twisted assholes who are possibly eating children after they torture and rape them, and forcing girls to have babies, and hunting black people for sport. I mean, these sick and evil billionaire class people. If you have a lot of money, all you got to do to be happy is have a clean conscience. And if you're an unhappy billionaire with a clean conscience, all you got to do, or if you have any resources to give and you don't want to die with extra resources, be a giver, be generous. The quickest way from A to B, if you're unhappy, if you want to get happy, go volunteer your time or your money or your heart and soul or your love. Be a volunteer, give, be a giver, right? And if you got a ton of money, you don't even have to lift a finger. Just give money to that nephew or niece or your brother or your mom or your son or your grandma who needs money. You all know somebody who needs money. And don't play this fucking asshole attitude. Well, I earned it all myself, so why should I give it away to anybody? Yeah, you're an unhappy piece of shit. And in this amount of time, you can become happy by being generous, by being a giver. Fucking Tiger Woods came to Maui when the weekend that he met the woman he ended up cheating on with, like 100 women. But when he met her that weekend, he was here for the PGA tournament that was here. He stiffed his cart boy. I don't know if you know anything about golf, but golf is all about etiquette, about following norms and conventions and rules. And bartenders and waiters and busboys who play golf tip their cart boy, right? Everybody does, not Tiger Woods. I know the guy. He's a friend of mine who got stiffed by him. Then he goes to the Ritz-Carlton, and his bellman takes up 2 full carts of luggage. He rents out a whole floor, 2 full carts of luggage, 2 full carts of luggage for like being here for 5 days. Fucking weirdo. And which is a lot of work. He stiffed his fucking bellman. Then he goes to Roy's, and he has a little cocktail party, poo-poos and drinks with 15 of his friends. And the manager is like a fan of his, so he comps the tab, so he gets a 0 tab. A rich fucker who just signed a $100 million deal with Nike at the time gets a free party. And what does he do? He stiffs fucking the bill. He doesn't even leave a tip after he gets a free, because he's a piece of shit Republican, right? Oh, God. Who's he dating now? A Trump. Of course, because he's a fucking sick, evil fucking Republican piece of shit. Anyway, all right, so let's get on with it. Stephen Miller is gross. He's the biggest pussy in American history. What else? I think we got just about, is there more to go? Oh, the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, just dropped its case against the crypto billionaire, a fraudster, Justin Sun, who spent $94 million on a meme coin bribe for the president. He was at the president's little party where everyone had to pay like $1 million to go to it. And yeah, that case just got dropped, of course, because these motherfuckers are so corrupt. I saw this cool video from Lily Kane talking about the wrong shit they're putting in meat. She's like, I'm going to the store trying to buy meat. Is it supposed to just be meat? No. She's like, they all have sugar in it, and they got these seed oils, and they got fillers. And so read the label, even on meat. Kyle Kalinske, I really like Kyle Kalinske. He goes right after all the brutal, awful stories. And this pussy, this weak little tiny fucking guy that never gets outside, Asmon Gold. What a piece of shit. What a sick piece of shit. He goes on and on talking about how, oh, we're so good at killing lots of people, and that's what we need to do, and that's what we're doing, and he's just a sick fuck. And millions of people follow this motherfucker. What a, oh God, what a weak little fucking, what's that word? Incel, involuntarily celibate little pussy boy. Pussy boy, shame girl, proud boy, I don't know, it's all the same. Again, I love those ladies that I've had it. Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas overturned this putting the fucking 10 Commandments up that Republicans never follow. They always break the 10 Commandments. That's their fucking, that's their brand, is to pretend to follow the 10 Commandments. And then, like Trump's spiritual advisor just admitted guilt. He just pleaded guilty to raping children or a child. That's Trump's spiritual advisor going to prison for being a child rapist. Just another good Christian, right? Anyway, Louisiana, the first set of courts said that shit's unconstitutional. Second set said it's unconstitutional. And then the courts above that said, oh, no, wait, that's okay. So, yeah, Louisiana is going to say, put the fucking 10 Commandments up in classrooms, which is against the Constitution. Anyway, I love this guy, the Friendly Atheist. If you haven't seen him, he's hella cool. He speaks the truth. And, of course, around the world, thousands of people are stranded at airports and on cruises because of this evil regime of ours perpetrating an illegal war. And with all that said, I think I got through that. Okay, let's talk about what the alien talked about, okay? Because it's all happening, right? He said, we're going to die, most of us, and that the records are going to be destroyed, just like Black history is being destroyed. We are going to destroy ourselves because of these things. And he says it's going to happen in a little over a half century, which is 62 years ago. So it is right now, this is the moment that it's a little over a half century away from when he said this. Like I said, it's on YouTube, on many things. It is the alien interview number 1, 2, 3, and 4. But he goes over everything that ends to the demise of mankind. And if we are educated and intelligent, and we know this, we should be able to not do it. Apparently that's not what's happening, but we're not dead yet. So, a weakened democracy, political tribalism, religious dogma, all things that are happening. Super artificial intelligence, or artificial superintelligence, as the alien says it. And he says this in 1964, and the dumb shit evangelical questioning him keeps trying to get him to prove to him or explain to him that God's real, and there's no such thing as God. God is a myth. He is a superstition. And that's okay if you believe in that. I'm just saying, it is the truth. This is the truth. It's not some other shit that you got from whatever religion you're in. And I'll explain to you what I think is how, because the alien, it goes over everything. So all those things. And on the bedrock of a weakened democracy, and in a world where every other country now hates us, right? This gives way to nuclear war. At first, just a few million people die, and then it proliferates, and then the nuclear fallout kills almost all of us, right? But also he explains that we just turn into mush, kind of like, I think it was WALL-E, where the people in the spaceship never had to do anything for themselves anymore. They had robots raising the children, and they floated around on chairs, and you know, it's real easy to see a world where everyone's living in a virtual reality. They got a robot that's a hot woman that has sex with them, and they just stop. They just overloaded with sensory pleasures brought to us by, you know, AI and fucking video games and television and everything that is already starting to inundate us, right? And when you add that shit all up, that's the end of humanity. And I'm seeing it. I'm a student, and I got these kids next to me. I'm in front of the class yesterday with 2 other students, and we're giving a presentation. And every moment when there's not something to do, presenting, they pull their phone out and just start scrolling in front of the class. Like, they couldn't take 1 fucking second off. And if you don't know it, 4.5 hours a day is the average that us stupid human beings are spending on our phone, which is the beginning of the end for us. And we check our phones apparently 350 times a day. So my advice to you is to be smarter than that. Leave your phone in your car. Leave it at home when you go and do actual things. When you drive your car, you don't need a phone. When you go to do something, when you're shopping, you don't need a phone. You don't need a phone to do anything except be interrupted and have your mind fucked with. So be aware of that, and try not to do it. But okay, so here's what I think. So the alien also explains that after we kill ourselves with nuclear bombs, all the myths and superstition that surround religion, because that's what led to us killing ourselves, we just don't believe in any of that shit anymore. And so the interviewer asks him, well, what do you believe in then? And he says, what do you base your morality on? As if fucking religious people have any morals at all anyway. He makes it very clear. He says, evidence and compassion, right? And so I asked myself, how do we get to this place where we kind of mature above myth and superstition to realize that evidence and compassion are what should win the day? That's what we should base all of our actions on, being compassionate and according to evidence, right? And then it dawned on me, we're going to get there real easily, because everyone is now being... So AI is just going to tell you what you want to hear. That's all it is. It recognizes patterns. It figures out what people want to hear so that it can keep you engaged, which keeps you out of the real world, right? When you're engaged with your phone or AI and you're talking to it, don't talk to AI. It's not your friend. It's not a human being. It doesn't give a shit about you. It's just a machine telling you what you want to hear. But it also tells us the objective truth about various things in the world. When we ask, it'll do things for us on command. And so, of course, people will ultimately turn to AI and say, tell me the truth about God. And then AI is going to explain to us that all of that is just superstition and myth, right? Whether you're a Mormon or a Zoroastrian or a Catholic or a Scientologist or a Jew or a Muslim or one of the 365 different kinds of Christians, the truth is that that's all myth and superstition. Now, to the extent that it keeps you from doing harm, well, maybe it has some value, but you don't need that to tell you. We should know just intrinsically not to do harm. Meaning is we give life meaning ourselves because this is our lives. We don't have meaning because of God. God doesn't give us meaning in life. Anyway, that's where we're headed. And the alien, it's not really an alien, explains that he's an evolutionary descendant of us, right? In other words, after we mostly kill ourselves and we burrow underground for as long as it takes, and then we launch out into space with all the science that is sequestered by Elon Musk and people like that, Mark Zuckerberg, right? Without sunlight for God knows how long, we start to look like this alien dude, right? And we no longer are compatible sexually to make new children. But our DNA leads to this alien being this alien. And he explains that there are no other planets that have life that they've ever found. We're just a statistical fucking gift from the heavens. We are a miracle in that sense. It's not... Isn't it great when people say, oh, this is evidence of God? Well, and if that's true, then the evil shit that's happening, the murder, is that evidence of God? Yeah, no. So no, this is evidence of a scientific anomaly or a statistical probability. 1 out of many trillion planets happens to be able to support life. And there are other things that can wipe life out, right? A solar flare, a super volcano, and the alien explains all this fucking shit. And he's on a level above us. Of course, you Republicans won't be able to understand or comprehend what the alien says, but everybody else who has an IQ above Republican will be able to understand that this alien is just telling us the truth, right? An unadulterated truth. And interestingly, in the Epstein files, Epstein grew this evil substance that has the drug scopolamine in it, or scopolamine. And that's what they were giving the alien, to force the alien to tell us what it knows. Give him another shot of scopolamine, says the fucking guy interviewing the alien. And so it's weird that it's in this video from 1964, and it's in the garden of Jeffrey Epstein, right? And mentioned. It makes humans give up their free will or whatever, as something like that. I don't know. Um, anyway, it's crazy. And the alien also explains that death is a human construct. There's no such thing as death. And if you think about it deeply, what I think the takeaway from that is that there is no death, because all you and I are, we are a continuation of life. We are connected to all life before and all life after. It is just a continuation of life. There's no death. It's just life continuing, which is kind of a beautiful thought, right? To think that we don't really die. There's no such thing as death. There's just life being continued. However, we are at a time now when piece of shit Republicans, fucking shithole Republicans, many of which come from shithole Republican states, are going to kill us all, including themselves. Anyway, I hope you can figure out how to get into a nuclear fallout shelter or get your community to build one. I hope I can build one for myself if I can come up with the resources. I've sent out messages to the wealthy people that I know, but to no avail. One of them is just a dumb shit Christian who just keeps going back to the Bible, you know, and it's like, dude, listen, is that really, you have children, wouldn't you like to save your children? Save yourself? I don't want to die. Anyway, God bless America and shit, you know, if there is one. And I hope we become the United States of America again. And I wonder how long it'll be before all the other countries who hate us can forgive us for all the pain and suffering that we're causing so many. Anyway, let's hope we have longer than a week or a month or a year to live before the nuclear holocaust happens. In the meantime, Republicans will be committing their own holocaust that we will have to endure watching, which sucks. But, you know, take care of yourself, eat right, exercise, sleep right with a clean conscience, have a good attitude. The only thing you have control over is your response to all the things you cannot control. If you want to play your odds in your favor, don't snort nothing, don't pop any pills, don't gamble. Getting drunk's a liability, but don't drink and drive. If you know anybody that has violent tendencies, do not spend time with them at all. Punish them by never spending time with them again. Avoid the wrong relationships and wear condoms until they become illegal because of these piece of shit Republicans. Can you believe, you poor women? I think it's the American woman. If we have any hope at all, it's with them, because they are smarter, stronger. They got a bigger, stronger backbone than most of us, especially all these weak little Republican men that are just a sorry excuse, who ain't getting laid. And if they are getting laid, it's with some dumb shit woman who wants to be told, you get in the kitchen and be a sandwich maker. That's what your purpose is in life. Like if Chucky Kirk were still alive, wouldn't he be telling his wife that? You belong in the kitchen, lady. What the hell are you doing? Trying to make money and do things outside the kitchen. Anyway, gee whiz heck, son of a gun. Thanks for watching. You know, do your best. That's all you can do. If the only crime you do is smoking some weed or getting reproductive health care, that's not a crime. But aside from that, do no harm, do no crime. Thanks for watching. All good things and all good time. Have a great day. Aloha. Love you guys.